Hello everyone, I'm Jay,
I'm Val.
and today we are in Kirkwood, Missouri at the National Museum of Transportation. So Val, have you ever been here before?
It has been years. Our kids are grown, and the last time I was here, I think it was on one of their field trips.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been about 20 years.
Oh my goodness. I have been here several times, but to actually check over the museums and the train yard and all that stuff, it's been a while for me as well. So what are you looking forward to?
I don't know. They have a lot of, it's all planes, trains, automobiles, and boats, I noticed.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of exhibits too. So come along with us as we Jay and Val around the National Museum of Transportation.
So here we are in just one of the train yards that they have here, and there's so many trains to look at in each yard. This is just one of them, of the many that they have for you to walk up and down and look at the trains. So let's walk and let's see what we can find.
Now, as long as there's not a sign, every single train is accessible. So if you want to go up into one of the trains or into the cars, you surely can, and it's highly encouraged. So check this out. This is a tanker car, and it is the largest tanker car ever built. It's nicknamed the Whale Belly. And the reason for that is because it sits 14.5 inches above the rails, and it creates like a whale belly look underneath the car. It can hold over 60,000 gallons, and it was made to transport like ammonia or liquid petroleum gas.
So hey Jay, check this out. This is a streetcar that was built for Philadelphia Transportation Company back in 1947 for about $28,500. At one point we had 300 of these on the streets of St. Louis.
Yeah, and this particular car was donated to the Museum of Transportation, where several volunteers actually restored this, repainted it, and it's actually operational.
So hey Jay, check this out. This was built by St. Louis Car Company back in 1914, and it took passengers back and forth between the St. Louis Waterworks.
So check out this car right here. It was made in 1930 by the General American Transportation Corporation. It was made for H.P. Hood and Sons Dairy Company. This car right here was big enough to hold 6,000 gallons of milk. It was completely insulated, so they didn't need ice, and it could travel long distances. They say that it could take a trip from Wisconsin all the way down to Florida, and it would only raise the temperature by 1 degree. So check out this Georgia steam locomotive, and its nickname is the Rainbow Locomotive. So now we're in the Limburg Auto Center. The Limburg Automotive Center was not named after the famous Limburg that most people know, Charles Lindbergh, who was a pilot. This was Arthur Lindbergh. In 1940, he had a Cadillac dealership. In 1957, Jack Taylor, one of his sales managers, came up to him and said he had an idea of actually leasing the vehicles. In 1969, they changed the company name to Enterprise Leasing, and that was in tribute to the aircraft carrier that Jack Taylor flew airplanes out of when he was in the Navy. Now it's Enterprise Rent-A-Car. It is the biggest car rental company in all of the world. So this 1957 Chevy Bel Air was actually presented to the Taylor family of Enterprise Rent-A-Car in 2007 by their employees. What a fabulous gift, huh?
It was for the 50th anniversary, wasn't it?
I believe it was.
So as you come into the display room, everything in here kind of mimics Route 66, cars that would have been driving at that time, some of the hotel, motels that were on Route 66, a drive-in that was on Route 66 here in the St. Louis area. And for me, as we walk in, this hit me in the face. It's the Coral Courts Motel. It was on Watson Road on Route 66. So this particular type of motel, you had the unit, but it actually had a garage, so you could hide your car in the garage. So by the time I really became of age in my teen years, it was not like one of the best places to stay. It was one of those hourly places by that time. But here they have a 1965 Chevrolet Corvette. This yellow is amazing. So hey, right here we have a 51 Studebaker. Awesome looking car, but what caught my attention was the Westward Hotel signs that they have behind there. Those are actual signs from the hotel.
You guys park on top or down below? Yep, up here. Yep. The building down below is the building about 5 floor. Okay, thank you.
The one thing I love about this place is all of the neon literally works. So this car is a 1960 Dadia. It was actually handmade by Andy Dadia, who was a fashion designer. Bobby Darin loved this car so much that he actually bought it from Andy and ended up driving it to the Academy Awards and using it in several movies. He ended up donating the car to the Museum of Transportation in 1970, just 3 years before he passed away. Now, it cost Andy $150,000 to make this car, and they say it's probably worth about $1.5 million now, or probably more. This is the 1964 Ford Mustang, and me growing up, everybody in my neighborhood wanted to have one of these. We all thought that this was the coolest sports car. So this is the 1923 Moon, and right next to it is the 1924 Moon, which looks very different. The story to this, though, was that the dealers were promised 15,000 cars, but only 6,000 were made. And ultimately, that was the demise of the company because they overpromised way more than they could handle.
So hey Jay, check this out. This is a Pierce Arrow motorcycle from 1912. And Pierce Arrow Motor Company was known for like really luxurious vehicles. And they also produced like bicycles and stuff. But this is one of their first motorcycles built in 1912.
Wow, so check out this solar car. It's a 2008. And it was built by students from Principia College. It was built to actually compete in races around the country and Australia. So what we have here is a 1920s Peevely milk wagon. So before engines, they would have these. They would be horse-drawn. And they would go house to house delivering glass bottles full of milk. Now, this is a 1965 Divco delivery truck that would also deliver milk. And by the 50s, 75% of all delivery trucks were made by Divco. This here is a 1937 Chevrolet Produce truck. I mean, they restored this to the hilt. This is in beautiful condition. It looks like it's got some wood to it. It is in great shape. So this is the 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air. When I look at this, I see puffy dresses, sock hops, slicked back hair. And this is one of the cars that was most prominent in movies and television back in the day.
So here we have a 1927 Ford Model T sedan. For me, this brings back memories. When I was younger, young, we had a neighbor across the street that had one of these, and I would get rides in it every so often. This just really brings back childhood memories for me. It was one of the most awesome cars to ride in.
So this is the HT Pot towboat. It was the first towboat on the Missouri River. It was built in 1933 and it operated out of Kansas City, Missouri. Now a towboat is a boat that moves the barges up and down the rivers, but it actually pushes the barges. It really doesn't pull them. So I really don't know why they would call it a towboat. It should be more like a push boat. But this is a towboat, and this is the HT Pot.
So here we have the Douglas Aircraft C-47A. It's called the Goonie Bird. This is a twin-engine plane that was used.
Looks like it was a military transport aircraft.
Yes. It was used in 1944.
I'm not gonna lie, this thing is massive.
It's huge.
Alrighty, the National Museum of Transportation is over. So Val,
Yes.
did you learn anything today?
I did. These trains are massive. The tugboat, huge, and the plane, ginormous.
Yeah, and there's also several cars on display, and in that building itself, they made it look like old Route 66 through St. Louis, and that was really neat as well, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Was there anything else that caught your eye?
I like the fact that they have like a little miniature train for the kids to ride. I think that's really cool. And the fact that you can get on some of the trains. You can't get on all of them, but some of them you can climb on, ring the bell, and see what the inside of the engines and stuff look like. It was neat.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, comment down below. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It'll let you know when our next video comes out. It'll keep you in the loop. We want to thank you for coming along with us today and hanging out at the National Museum of Transportation. And we want to thank you for Jay and valing around with us.